all the editing done on site. But yeah, I think we've also seen a lot of questions out of the community. It was like, what makes bus stop bus stop? And I think probably one of the main-ish answers that I've put together is it is a dedicated tempo deck. You know, there's a difference between control and tempo, as we know, and it's just the way that you play your cards, what kind of counter spells you're using. But bus stop. Usually you see like Gurmag, you see like 2 Delve threats, Gurmag, Tassika, and then you would also see like Snuff Out and Pyrokinesis. Actually, Pyrokinesis in the board is kind of normal for lots of decks these days. It's like Power of Lutri, I suppose. But I think Reese is usually a control player, so it wouldn't surprise me if he was just going to go like a little bit bigger, like play a little bit of Grixis control as opposed to...
Reese has Mana Drain, which I don't think is normal in the Grixis list, the bus stop lists.
Yeah, let's see. Mana Drain, yeah. We like the Gush, we usually see it. All right, if Bolas and my girl both drowning and I can only save one, catch me at my girl's funeral with an O2 record. Thank you, Alicia, who smiles at death. Beautiful, disgusting copy pasta. Really appreciate that.
Alicia, a fan of bad Grixis decks and Legacy.
Oh, yeah.
And every format, really.
Yeah, I feel like Bolas heads are really dedicated. Like we've even in Highlander, we've seen it a few times that like this like random Grixis control deck, you're just playing Bolas Dragon God or something in the sideboard. You know, like maybe never sided in, but like as a homage to the king of Grixis himself, Nicol Bolas Dragon God. Have you ever cast Tip to Turok? Yes, Alesha, I have, and quite enjoy it, quite. All right. So we got here, Jack, bringing something a bit spicy. He said, I wasn't going to ask to be put on footage. I wasn't going to put my hand up because I said, everyone put your hand up if you're playing a spicy deck. Obviously, some people not wanting to show their hand too early in the start of round one, but Jack said, you know, I'm 2-0, so fuck it. maybe I'll have a little go and see what happens, and we'll see.
We have Chatterfang, Gaia's Cradle, Mental Misstep, Ranger Captain of Eos, not Ranger Captain, the Convoke one.
The Convoke one, yeah, we see it in Boros Convoke and Standard quite like this as well.
And Pioneer, yeah.
And Pioneer, yeah, exactly.
Chatterfang is likely to get mana drained. And ooh, or not.
We love mana drain for many reasons, but one of the best is interesting. Just drawing a card first.
We're leading clean first.
Just maybe we draw something better, but.
All right, yeah, we just cast Fairy Master round.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Mana drain, good for a lot of things, as I was about to say, but putting Lucha in your hand after you counter your opponent's 3-drop, that's delicious.
This is a Brainstorm, which is getting misstepped.
Yeah.
I think Reese has a Molten Collapse and is wanting to use Molten Collapse here while the Sorcery Speed card works.
Yeah, obviously you hit that fetch, make your Brainstorm an effective A-call and then trigger that Mind Collapse just to say that you did. Obviously nothing to get here, but you know, it's nice to say that you can.
Basic Forest into Birds of Paradise.
Yeah. Pretty interesting. The green, it used to be like, you probably saw like a little bit of white-black tokens, you know, like just Lingering Souls the deck, Bitter Blossom the deck. But green, I mean, it got a huge pump of just a bunch of stuff that makes tokens. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why Jack is splashing white in this way. Just Chatterfang, as we saw before. I wish I could remember one of them, but I think in the sort of not Dominaria, the Ravnica, not the last Ravnica, but the Ravnica before that had like a kind of a tokeny sub-theme.
There was a lot of Afterlife cards, but I think most of them aren't amazing. And those populate in the Return to Ravnica. we might get. We'll see what tokens we are making. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jack currently looking like a little flooded a bit. There's a planes and a guy's cradle in hand, at the very least. Oh, but we have drawn a Fable, the Mirror Breaker, and Reese does not have Fable. Have Mana Drain up. Oh, this is a Deep Forest Hermit.
Damn, we hermiting today? Deep Forest Hermit, huh? That's not.
It's the Vanishing one. Yeah, it has Vanishing rather than Echo.
Oh hell yeah. Modern Horizons, I think.
Yeah, Modern Horizons 1.
As a sort of time shifted a little bit, like we saw with Season Pyromancer as well. But this is like sort of another nice callback to Deranged Hermit, something that makes sense.
Yeah, Deep Forest. It does make squirrels. This one makes squirrels.
Oh hell yeah!
They all both make squirrels. Yeah.
That's all you need, really.
Deep Forest Hermit getting dismembered in response to his trigger, but you still make the tokens.
Nice.
So Reese has Mana Drain, Baleful Strix, Mystic Sanctuary, which is so you can Mystic Sanctuary something on top, Baleful Strix into it, and still hold up your Mana Drain this turn, which is quite nice.
Super nice. Dismember looking pretty bad. This is like, this is where this deck could get really interesting because control, and we'll see if this is bus driver or not, bus stop or not. But control doesn't play that many sweepers these days. Like I don't think it's like that common anymore. And like what tokens does that no other format really does, no other archetype does that much these days is put a bunch of creatures on the battlefield, and this 1/1 removal is just not going to cut it.
Yeah, so this turn, Jack gets to convoke out the something of Eos. But then also has
help us with this convoke Eos, but go on, okay? Yeah.
We also have a Fable, which is probably going to get mana drained, but then we get to then convoke out the guy.
Yeah, super nice. I believe you get to put a counter on each creature that convoked.
You look at the top X cards and put up to 2 creatures. Look at the top 6 cards and you put up to 2 creatures in your hand of with mana value less than or equal to the Lingering Souls, less than or equal to the amount of creatures you convoked it. So it lets you like go through a deck and find more creatures. The Loxodon from the Guilds of Ravnica puts the counters on them.
That's it.
Venerated Loxodon.
There you go. Yeah, thank you.
So we're gonna look at 6 cards.
Of Eos.
Night Errant.
The ninth, as you mentioned before, convoke 4/4 for 5. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less, where X is the number of creatures you convoked, and then you get to put them into hand.
We have revealed just a Delighted Halfling, and then you shuffle your whole library instead of just put them on the bottom, which is a little weird compared to normal templating.
Yeah. I think Wizards is actively trying to reduce the amount of times that you shuffle big piles of cards where you can, but...
Alright, well, despite getting a mana drain, Fable the Mirror Breaker mana drain this turn, Jack has assembled a very large board.
Yeah, holy moly, and we're flashing back the Lingering Souls. Love a good cast Lingering Souls, flashback Lingering Souls, and Gaia's Cradle is the facilitator of all this nonsense.
Yeah.
That's a great turn.
This is a pretty good turn. Now we're just hoping to draw like an intangible virtue or something and turn all these tokens into real cards.
Yeah, absolutely. Intangible virtue, force of
virtue.
Something. Force of Virtue, thank you. There's no shortage. War Leader's Call, I believe, has seen a little bit of play recently as like a token enabler in that same Boros Convoke deck that we were mentioning before. 3 mana enchantment that gives our creatures +1/+1. And Impact Tremors, so whenever they enter the battlefield, they also get a little hit.
So, Reese used the Mandrake mana to cast Troll of Khazad-dûm, which normally basically has unblockable, but
Oh, now.
when your opponent has like 10 creatures, they can actually block it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We always hear the meme of 15 squirrels versus Emrakul, but no one mentions the 3 squirrels versus Troll, and that's gonna be really helpful for Jack for sure. Let's see how attacks go here. All right.
I think Jack drew a basic land, so he's mostly just thinking about combat here.
Yeah, and Tangible Virtue would really get him. I mean, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, as you said, 10, 9, 10, 11. So like 11 damage if you just swing out, but obviously the Troll's going to be able to eat one of them. I guess you get the Halfling as well, but you're pretty happy to just like flunge with all of your tokens. Like, I'm not sure exactly what you're holding back from.
Whoa.
Maybe he's trying to consider, I guess considering your life total is important, the Fairy Mastermind and an unblocked Troll is lethal, so...
Yeah, just trying not to die to a removal spell kind of thing.
Totally, totally. And yes, Jack listening astutely, only attacking with 6, but Reese doesn't want a part of it. Doesn't even want to block with the Troll, which is kind of interesting, but you know.
Maybe you're just like not sure what Jack could have. Something like Flame Slash would make this attack make a lot more sense.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, regardless of what Jack has in his hand, it's pretty correct if you have 1,000 tokens to just throw them. Who cares? You know, who cares how they're blocked? You know, you're just like, that's the goal. They're all 1/1s.
Yeah, if you lose one, so
it's not that bad. Yeah, here comes Troll.
The cleanest block here would be to like block with the 4/4, the 1/2, and the 1/1. And they only can kill the 4/4 and the 1/2. But because it was just the Troll, you can take 2 and just go, I'll kill you next turn with all my tokens.
That's so risky, though. I mean, we saw the Lightning Bolt, admittedly.
Yeah.
Pretty sure, yeah, we saw the Lightning Bolt. But
that's an Atraxa.
Chain Lightning would kill him right now.
We have no blue mana, though.
Oh, we don't have... Yeah, you're right. No blue mana. Which is kind of funny, because this guy's Cradle taps for 10 billion mana right now. If one of them was blue...
Oh, wait, we have a Halfling.
Yeah. Halfling. Superfluous count my mana. Yes. Do I have 10 creatures? Yes. All right. Here comes 10 green mana.
Also, Atraxa probably means that there might be like a Cradlehoof Behemoth in the deck to also natural order for.
Oh yeah.
Which really, that's a good way to make make use of your tokens. Yeah, make 10 mana.
Yeah, for sure.
Make blue.
I think of like Timeless or Historic players in Arena try and do like what's it called? The one that polymorphs your creatures, but you like just play a bunch of tokens and then your only actual creature is Elishnor, and then you use that to pump. But this looks like maybe not on the cards, but natural order fantastic here. You do have to make sure that some of your most of your creatures are green, because you don't want to be like natural order. I have a white creature, I have an artifact creature, you know, but
so we have
might not matter in the end.
Paladin class Grist. I don't know the rest of these cards.
Good eye on the Grist. I think one of the downfalls, one of few downfalls of printing 10 billion copies of different cards is that the commentary team have to learn all the things. Turns out
Reese,
it didn't matter.
Reese was like, not good enough.
Jack's like, oh, this card does this card does this. Reese is like, I don't want to hear it. Leave me alone. But yeah, that was enough to lock up game 1, and congratulations on Jack for that game 1. That was felt pretty strong. I mean, 2 life, still pretty risky when you could sacrifice a bunch of creatures, but I think Jack must have been doing his maths there and thought, maybe I can't give up those extra creatures. Let's see how players are sideboarding. Seed Time? Oh, man. Jack knows how to live. Seed Time, Duress, Veil of Summer. Seed Time, I believe that's what we saw. Inquisition of Kozilek. A
Battle?
instant speed time walk for 2 mana. No, you didn't mishear me, chat. That's a very great time walk, but it has an incredible stipulation. The opponent has to cast a blue spell first. So great that it's instant speed, obviously, and good if your opponent's starting to counter stuff, but God, I could never get a seed time to line up.
Yeah, it has to be. You have to cast it on your turn, but it is an instant, and so you need them to like counter your thing or play like a like Thought Scour end of your turn. Yeah. Jack also had a battle.
Go on.
Jack also had a battle for Bywater in the sideboard, which, depending on how many Delve creatures Reese is on, could be an interesting sideboard option. It destroys all creatures with power of 3 or 4 or greater. I think it's 3, and you get a food for something. Maybe just get 1 food. It's a D&T sideboard card in Legacy. It's quite good.
Oh no. Is it Lord of the Rings, perhaps?
Yeah, it is a Lord of the Rings card.
So funny. I think when they were designing that set, they did announce that they were like, you know, there will be some standout cards, but you know, more or less, it's not modern centric. It's just like, you know, we will have some really powerful cards. But is it like Battle of Bywater?
Yeah, the Battle of Bywater. Yeah. Yeah.
Wild. Like so many of these little cards are actually just getting so much play.
So, the Battle of Bywater is destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater, then create a food for each creature you control, which is going to make a lot of food tokens. We can see natural order at the front of Jack's deck, so it is in fact a natural order deck, and is likely to be on Cradlehoof Behemoth.
Oh, cool. Sorry, we're getting a surprise third commentator joining us that only I can hear, but I think he was just asking whether or not he could jump in and have a chat. So I think we will do that. That sounds lovely. But yes, we are going to get to see probably some more players do some commentary right here, because a funny thing about the later half of the day is that people start going 03. Maybe I'll just drop and do something else. It's very hard to get people in Canberra at the start of the day, but at the end of the day, we will definitely get many options. Definitely up. Did you see the clown car, Kate, in Jack's deck?
I did not. I do love a clown car.
Love a good clown car. It's 0 mana, X mana artifact that makes either clowns or +1/+1 counters, but I just love playing it because the theatrics of getting a handful of dice, because it says roll dice for each X that you paid, or what you paid X for, and it's like, if it's like 4 or 5, you're just pulling all the dice that you have and shaking them up like nobody's business, but Jack is a fine purveyor of these spells as well.
I watched it get cast out of shops for like X is 10 at the RC, and it's just like, here's 10 dice.
All right, everyone, you know, you're scouting around the house with dice. Very nice. Okay, going into our game 2. Players have shuffled up. Reese, unfortunately, behind. We'll see if he can pull it out. Maybe he has some sideboard cards. He does. I see the Submerge. This is kind of interesting, and we're seeing what I mentioned before in game 1 was that, like, Submerge is a good card. Subtlety, I think it's Subtlety, it might be something else, but you know, these cards are good if you're, you know, for Atraxa, for Elish Norn and stuff. But man, submerging a token kind of less exciting.
We have 3 lands, including 4 lands, including Caracas and Gaia's Cradle, Paladin Class, Orcish Bowmasters, Deep Forest Hermit, which is a pretty good hand.
Very nice. Very
Paladin Class making it more awkward for Reese to play counter spells and then eventually becomes a anthem as well.
Nice. Very nice. Seeing some really spicy choices out of Jack. Treating us. What a treat. What a treat. Okay. Jack's first play here. Arid Mesa. We didn't see anything. Oh no, we saw the Noble Hierarch. We got a turn 1 dork.
Yeah, we just drew the Noble Hierarch on turn 1. But Reese has a lightning bolt, so
right, and the open mana. It's like this is an interesting tension point for Jack as well because like it could be a spell pierce or it could be a lightning bolt, and you can't play around both, so you have to just make a choice.
We got a scrub land, so we're going for Paladin class.
Yeah, looks
which
like
is, I think,
choice and
lines up a lot better.
very fortunately the right one. Yeah.
Yeah. And the counterspell in Reese's hand is going to look a lot worse as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Reese going down to 17 here. Fetch and Shock. Oh no, Fetch and Gitaxian Probe, we're good.
Yeah. We'll see
shock. Let's go.
if there's an Undercity Sewers here. That would probably be a pretty good one.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yep, we do in fact have an Undercity Sewers and a Surveil one.
That's a cantrip, baby. That's a cantrip.
It does look like Reese's hand needs some lands, and so this helps with it a lot.
Yeah, it's nice to have the option to lightning bolt, but if the lightning bolt doesn't work, you get the Surveil. So Reese is going to have a look at something. Not quick enough. That's all right.
If it's left on top, I presume it's a land. There might be a Marsh Flats in Reese's hand, but
okay.
Okay, it's a Brainstorm was left on top.
That's kind of like a land.
Well, it's like a land if it finds a land.
Oh yeah. Here's a swamp. So we do get the land that we're looking for. Dismember and Drown the Lock, the other 2 cards.
Wait, this is a Brainstorm. I think Reese just worked out it's a Brainstorm, not a Ponder.
That's really funny. Still choosing to do it like a Ponder, which is really smart as well. It's like you give your opponent the extra information that, no, I'm going to put these cards on top, but that's okay. We will endeavor.
I think this is a Palace Jailer that got drawn for Jack.
Palace Jailer's good. You pretty easily can keep the Monarch. I like destroyed my brain trying to make like humility tokens, and obviously the shtick was that you didn't have creatures that weren't 1/1s, and a very funny shtick, but God, you miss out on some bangers. Like Orcish Bowmasters actually just makes a token, you know, like
yeah.
All these things that are just good cards by themselves, but also synergize. You like give that up by trying to go too deep on the all my creatures are going to be useless line.
Yeah, good to cast this Bowmaster now while Reese only has 1 mana up and the Paladin class is working, so there's no nothing that can come.
Yeah, nice one. Here's a Dismember off the top.
Reese does not look like they have a 3rd land, which is going to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, especially because you know what the next card of the Brainstorm is.
Yeah.
He's Brainstorm locked himself, and we don't see that too often.
It's a 4th Yorlingus, but I don't think Jack has red mana currently. That's a good card that makes tokens.
That is a good card that makes tokens. Unfortunately, they're 2/2s though, so it doesn't really work with humility. Haha. This is a huge one though. 4th. We won't be able to cast it yet, but God, it feels nice to have that just in your back pocket, ready to go in the future, even if you're not going to do it right now. Vance in the chat, Mr. Verbal, evening. Yes, they lose Trample and Haste, by the way. But yes, probably not what's on Jack's mind is whether or not he will cast a Humility, because this Palace Jailer is looking really nice. This Deep Forest Hermit, very nice as well.
Drown the Lock kind of has to get cast now because of the Paladin class, so probably has to just kill this Noble Hierarch.
Oh, that's so painful. This is like really not
No?
the game 2
Alright.
that you want.
Well, yeah, we have a 2/1 flyer,
It works. It's technically a card.
but now you can get like Palace Jailer.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's a Palace Jailer. There's a Lord of the Rings. I think it's a Lord of the Rings version of it.
beautiful. Yes, the land in
Yes.
the middle is Caracas.
It's White Tower of something.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
Functionally works the same as Caracas. Is a Caracas. Many different things, but yeah, pretty happy having it. Pretty happy having it, I'm sure. Just
Yeah.
as Tasker comes around, or Sheldred, of course. Really, Caracas seeing lots more play lately.
Yeah, it's White Tower of Exelion. That's a Deep Forest Hermit. Gonna juice this
Interesting.
Gaia's Cradle for next turn.
Yeah, that's really juiced. I mean, if we get the Force, if we get the red, I mean, we do need the red mana.
We have a Verdant Catacombs.
Okay, never mind. Jesus, this is not going to be a small 4th Aerolingus. Presuming we don't cast any more spells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Creatures.
8, 9, 10, 11. That's
9? 18 damage? Okay. Reese has drawn a 3rd land, and so now can have counterspell up if he doesn't cast anything right now.
really, really difficult for him. Yeah, because as you said, that Paladin class was sick and like so nice. So nice to have access to that Paladin class early, and he hit the nail right on the very top of the head with the decision at the start whether or not to play the Noble Hierarch. Casting Noble Hierarch would have just been eating a lightning bolt and move on with our life, and then the Paladin class might have been a different story. But Paladin class here, early drop and being really annoying for Reese, and not what you want at all for that game 2 where you have to fight uphill to get there.
And if Reese just passes with all his mana up, you can just activate Paladin class and it just turns it into an Anthem.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep. We're bolting the Deep Forest Hermit.
It's so sad to know that your decisions just don't matter. 4th Aerolingus very correctly 1 point, and we're about to see why. Because Reese is going through all these decision points. When do I submerge? When do I do this? When do I do that? And
we're submerging now.
This is, I mean, again, this is great. We don't want to draw the Noble Hierarch, but goddamn, not going to matter. This 4th Aerolingus is going to be...
We're submerging the token instead.
Yeah, sure. Let's see
and
what else
then
we got here. 2 mana.
Drown, Petty Theft, a token. So...
Okay. So
that's
Reese
all well and
9,
good, but...
1, 2, 3, yeah. If Reese knew what fate would befall him, perhaps he wouldn't be concentrating so hard on his decision points. But yes, hopefully we know about it. Hopefully we have a Tiger. Hopefully we have a Badlands.
We saw a Tiger in game 1.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And here it is. Yeah. Reese is about to witness the power of 4th Aerolingus at this point even.
Might be the best 4th Aerolingus deck I've seen.
Yeah, Gaia's Cradle survived many pointings, and probably rightly so. I mean, I don't think Creatures is really on the committee's menu for things to nerf, but we're seeing here why it could be like Tolarian Academy, 1 point, 4th Aerolingus for $1 billion, 4th Aerolingus, Mom, get the camera. That is lethal, absolutely 100 times over.
Yeah, this 4-color tokens deck looking real cool.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, great. Let's take the opportunity for a quick break. Kate, I'll let you go if that's all right, and then maybe message you if I can get you back later on. But thank you so much for joining me in these first 3 rounds. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yep. No worries. Happy to be here. Glad to watch some cool Highlander matches. Some cool decks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Lovely. All right. Well, we'll take it to the BR back screen, and we'll do a little bit of faffing around, and then maybe we can catch Jack for a little deck tech soon. But yeah, thank you, Kate. Thank you, chat. And we'll be back very soon.